on NTA Entertainment.
Zaman lafiya da ci gaba.
Udo na ọganihu.
Bemanze hamu.
Zinzi lafiya kalakama.
Ẹ̀bọ lánà jẹ gọ̀bú.
Àlàáfíà pẹ̀lú ìlọsíwájú.
Emem yẹn ka iso.
No matter the language, the verdict is the same. There can be no progress without peace. No development. No
make sure that any commitment entered to by any previous administration, this government is willing and is committed to fulfilling it.
As work resumes nationwide, federal government promises to respect agreements between labor and government.
It is desirable and expected that parties will maintain and abide by the code of conduct that they sign.
INEC pleads with political parties to stick to the rules of decent politicking. And Nigeria's tertiary education sector review in 2014, correspondent says there is cause for joy. Welcome to NTA Network News. My name is Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. The NTA's flagship belt coming to you on the first working day of the year 2015, at least for us here in Nigeria after the public holidays. Workers in the nation's capital, Abuja, have reiterated their resolve to put in their best to add value to public service governance. Correspondent Oyeyemi Ajayi observed the level of compliance by workers on resumption day.
Workers' turnout at the office of the head of service was light as they were seen walking in their small number. Even though some offices were locked, workers were seen active on their duty posts.
Government effort to put you on that position. That's one of the things that made me to be early.
Security operatives were seen searching different vehicles at the entrance of the Foreign Affairs Ministry and the Federal Secretariat. Some of the workers have this to say.
The thing I want to do this year is to make sure I contributed a lot compared to what I've done in 2014.
My boss will expect me to do better than that of last year. I will also put my best in the area of commitment to my duty, and that is why you can see me coming to the office today.
I intend to work to the best of my knowledge to make sure that I do my duties as is expected of me.
They are generally very hopeful that this year will surpass last year in its achievements. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Supervising Minister of Information, Dr. Nuruddin Mohammed, has also assured Nigerian workers of the federal government's sincerity in resolving labor disputes as well as respect agreements entered into. Correspondent Anthony Folsom reports that the minister was reacting to perceived breaches of agreements between unions and government. The report.
Labor unions have embarked on a number of strikes to press home certain demands, which range from welfare package to improvement in working environment, as well as restructuring of certain government policies, a position the minister described as healthy, but must wear a human face.
With the labor unions themselves understanding that they have a responsibility to themselves and to Nigerians through the government. What we want to assure Nigerians is that while it is within the fundamental rights of the labor unions to embark on strike, it is also within the responsibility of the government to make sure that that is done in a very responsible and non-destructive way.
Government, to Nuruddin Mohammed assured, will respect any agreement in the interest of the Nigerian workers.
We have to be honest, we did not sign most of those memoranda, but the government is working to make sure that any commitment entered to by any previous administration, this government is willing and is committed to fulfilling it.
The minister was, however, quick to caution that Labour must not use such avenues to blackmail government. In Abuja, Anthony Folsom, NTA News.
Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, today embarked on an indefinite nationwide strike to press home their demands for financial autonomy of the judiciary. Correspondent Abdul Fattah Adediran reports that all courts in the federal capital city remained under lock and key.
It was pin-drop silence in most of the courts visited within the federal capital city. This is indicative of the fact that the Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria have embarked on an indefinite strike over the non-implementation of the financial autonomy as granted by High Court order. The court premises looked deserted as neither staff nor outsiders were allowed in. Reason being that the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUN, is on strike. A circular signed by P. Nnamani, National Assistant Secretary of the Union, says the strike is against alleged failure of state governments to comply with January 13, 2014 Federal High Court judgment, which gave judiciary financial autonomy. Many litigants and legal practitioners who spoke off camera lamented the adverse effect the strike is likely to have on people with one business or another in court. Although none of the officials of JUSUN agreed to speak on camera, the union is also alleging breach of memorandum of understanding reached between JUSUN and the Supervising Ministry of Labour and relevant authorities in the justice sector. In Abuja, Abdul Fattah Adediran, NTA News.
Inspector General of Police Suleiman Abba says the police will take all necessary measures to ensure the safety and security of all Nigerians at all times. In a statement signed by the Force Public Relations Officer Emmanuel Ojukwu, the IGP assures Nigerians of the readiness and determination of the police force to tackle security issues with respect to the 2015 elections. He announced that the police and other security agencies have been deployed strategically nationwide to ensure that Nigerians go about their businesses without fear or molestations. The month of January, which opens the calendar year, is seen in most quarters as the longest month. This arises from a natural human desire to cope in the new year after so much spending associated with the end-of-year activities. Correspondent Abdul Fattah Adediran, Correspondent Mitari Ikben, the following questions. That is, what is its origin and how did it become widely accepted globally? Here is Mitari Ikben.
In terms of length, September could as well pass for the longest month of the year, as it contains 9 letters, followed by February, November and December with 8 letters each. In terms of number of days, January shares the same characteristics with March, May, July, August, October and December. Despite this, many people still consider January as the longest month of the year. Why is this so?
In January, no budget release, budget is being processed, and then that itself leads to the tough time we do experience.
They spend everything for December period. January, they'll start to shout.
Yeah, it's the longest month because when you check, you see that December, people spend a lot of money, and when they come back, they try to a lot of hustling, and things are hard, and they try to make it up.
In the new month of January, many people are faced with payment of rent, school fees, purchase of books, and other stationery items for students. What then is the way out?
Those ones that are doing business, they are getting their money every day. They will not feel it. But those that are any monthly salary, they are the ones that are feeling it.
It's generally quite okay. A lot of civil servants haven't expended their money, will rather content themselves with having either roasted plantain with groundnut, which we call bole, and groundnut, or fura de nono. Whichever way is a matter of individual choice. As for yours sincerely, I decided to have a bottle of fura de nono, which will go a long way. All I need to do is just top it up with water, and life keeps going. From the Federal Secretariat at Abuja, Abdul Fattah Adediran,
NTA News.
That's Abdul Fattah Adediran there, certainly. But the next report is by Mitari Ikben. It is still the new year, and mankind is able to keep record of dates and history with the use of the calendar. The Gregorian calendar, also called the Christian calendar, which has 12 months, is the most commonly used across the world. What is its origin and how did it become widely accepted globally? Mitari Ikpen tries to answer these questions.
Also called the Western or Christian calendar, consists of 365 or 366 days divided into 12 months to make a year. Research reveals that the Gregorian calendar is named after Pope Gregory XIII, who introduced it in February 1582 with the aim of correcting a miscalculation of the Julian calendar of the Roman Empire, which was previously in use.
The Roman government never calculated, the emperors never calculated the movement of the sun around the earth properly, and it was always 11 minutes miscalculated. And as the years went by, it was falling far and far away from the Easter season. And so the Pope foresaw a situation where maybe much later we'll be celebrating Easter around December 24th and then Christmas December 25th. And with all of that, he had to step in to moderate that so that the church's ecclesiastical year fall at its proper time. It was first implemented by the Roman Emperor Julius Caesar in 46 BC.
The few countries that do not use the Gregorian calendar include Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, Nepal, Iran, and Afghanistan. Some of these countries use alternate calendars such as the Islamic calendar and Ethiopian calendar, which were retained to depict religious or astrological events, but however run concurrently with the Gregorian calendar for various reasons, including convenience and international trade. Why is the Gregorian calendar widely accepted?
One of the reasons that advanced the fast spread and acceptance of that calendar is the spread of Christianity. And then the second reason, the desire for unity in the world. We all know day by day the world is becoming a global village.
Also of interest is the fact that the months of the Gregorian calendar are named after Roman gods and emperors, or coined from Latin words. Named after Janus, the two-faced Roman god of gates or beginnings, renowned for seeing the future and the past. February is coined from the Latin word febru, meaning to purify, and originally the Roman month of sacrifices and purification. March is named after Mars, the Roman god of war. April is from the Latin word aperio, meaning open, the month when trees bring out new leaves. May got its name from Maya, the Roman goddess of growth, while June is named after Juno, perceived as queen of a Roman god. July is named after Julius Caesar, the famous Roman emperor. Same with August, named after the first Roman emperor, Augustus Caesar. September is from the Latin word septem, meaning seven, and originally the seventh Roman month. October is coined from the Latin word octo, meaning 8. November is also from the Latin word novem, meaning 9, as well as December from the Latin word decem, meaning 10, and previously the Roman 10th month, counting from March.
These months were not rejected but Christianized, and today there is nothing absolutely with those months. When I don't think I'm worshipping a Roman goddess.
Enjoy a happy new year. In Abuja, Mitari Ikpen, NTA News.
Now to political matters. As political parties intensify campaigns and rallies, the Independent National Electoral Commission says political parties and candidates must play by the rules and avoid utterances that may heat up the polity. Chief Press Secretary to INEC Chairman Kayodedu stated these in an interview with correspondent Gabriel Odu in Abuja.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, notes that political campaigns have commenced since 16th and 30th of November last year, pointing out that INEC is just not lifting ban on campaigns as being reported.
By law, parties are expected to begin their campaigns 90 days before elections. And so it is desirable and expected that parties will maintain and abide by the code of conduct that they signed.
On the issue of permanent voter card, PVC, Mr. Idowu says the process is ongoing.
They still have the opportunity to go and collect their cards. at the relevant local government office, the one that concerns you, you go to the local government office of INEC. The people have up till the end of January to still collect.
And let the electorate also know that without your PVC you can't vote. And if you say the election is none of your business, it's sad because the election is your business. It's your business is the only time that you have authority as in Nigeria to select who will represent you.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is re-emphasizing on the need for issue-based campaigns by political parties and their candidates to enable the electorate make informed choices. From INEC headquarters in Abuja, Gabriel Odu, NTA News.
Still on politics, Vice President Muhammad Namadi Sambo has paid a one-day visit to Sokoto as part of efforts to reconcile warring factions of the PDP towards the success of the party in the next month's general elections. Sheikh Muhammad Datti has the report.
The Vice President, who was received at the Sultan Abubakar III International Airport, Sokoto, by leaders of the party, was in Sokoto on a reconciliation meeting. The reconciliation meeting was held behind closed doors at the residence of former governor of the state, Atahir Al-Hatu Bapalawa. Briefing newsmen after the meeting, Vice President Namadi Sambo said they had a fruitful deliberation which is expected to serve as a cornerstone for the success of the party in the state in the general elections. The Vice President also assured of the federal government support to INEC with a view to ensuring the success of the elections. He, however, cautioned PDP supporters in the country against any form of political violence. During the meeting, an APC gubernatorial aspirant in the state, Yusho Muhammad Kebi, was formally received into PDP by Vice President Namadi Sambo. The Vice President was accompanied to the state by the Supervising Minister of Health, Dr. Haruna Al-Hassan, former PDP National Chairman, Dr. Bello Haliru, and the Minister for Special Duties, Tanimu Turaki, among others. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
The proposed permanent national headquarters of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Abuja is to be completed in 12 months from funds realized at the recent fundraising dinner in Abuja. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday has the details.
Work on the project, which started in September 2012 for lack of funds. This, Professor Jerry Gana said, will no longer be the issue as part of the money realized at the party's fundraising dinner goes in for it.
That the president, as a candidate, is entitled to raise his own campaign funds and is going to. The funds we raise are for the party. And the party has so many projects, of which this one is the main one.
It will be a building that demonstrates the solidity of this party and the capacity of our party to the people who will continue the stabilization of democracy in Nigeria.
The present government by Dr. Goodluck Jonathan is ruling very well. You can see all the achievement of his transformation agenda, and then it's really touching all the sectors of the economy. So I believe Nigerians should rally around and support him so that he can consolidate on the achievement on ground.
Minister of Water Resources Sarah Ochekwe and other members of the fundraising committee explained that the money raised is not for presidential campaign alone, but will also be deployed for other PDP projects.
The PDP has an institute, and the whole purpose of setting up that institute is to train all members of the PDP, especially in leadership position.
Look at the railway is real. Look at the Almajiri. You have the Almajiri all over. Now they have school. They can come out educated. They can be leaders of tomorrow, and they will.
The government that has learned and lessons, a government that is growing. It's not a government that has not been fragmented. So you can be assured that for every tenure, PDP keeps improving.
The proposed building will have 2 basements for car park and a 300-seating capacity hall. Indications from the contractor is that 16.5 billion naira is needed to complete the project. In Abuja, Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
President Goodluck Jonathan has approved the constitution of the zonal, state, and deputy coordinators of the presidential campaign organization of the PDP. A statement by the special advisor to the president on political affairs, Rufai Ahmed Al-Ali, says Governor Theodore Orji heads the southeast, Governor Gabriel Suswam, north central, Governor Lieli Imoke, south-south, Governor Ibrahim Hassan Ankwambu, northeast, Governor Sule Lamido, Northwest, and Governors Olusegun Mimiko, Southwest. Each state has a coordinator and a deputy coordinator. They will be inaugurated by President Goodluck Jonathan at the PDP Presidential Campaign Headquarters, Legacy House, Maitama District, Abuja, on Tuesday, 6th of January at 12 noon. Guests are advised to be seated by 11:30 in the morning. Ahead of the February 14th presidential election, the Buhari Friends Organization has launched its campaign strategies. They said it is principally one that is issues-based and ultimately leads to the success of the APC candidate at the polls. Correspondent Abdullahi Garba has the report.
To start talking, he draws things behind.
Leading other coordinators of youth, women and states to launch the campaign strategies, National Coordinator of the organization, Mr. Ignatius Okon, says their role will be a complementary one to the party.
We have to campaign basically on issues, say things that an average Nigerian would believe easily, so that they can join us en masse and vote for the needed change.
Other speakers stress the need for all to get their permanent voter cards.
Please encourage your followers, encourage people in your states to make sure they have their PV.
Because no matter the number of women, if you don't have your voter's card, it cannot translate into victory.
He's a man that is so humble.
The Buhari Friends Organization has branches in all the states and the FCT. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Youth and Student Matters, Comrade Jude Imagwe, has again enjoined Nigerian youths to shun all forms of violence during next month's general elections. Comrade Imagwe stated these while addressing a cross-section of youths and student union leaders from the Southeast Geopolitical Zone in Oka. He urged the youths not to allow themselves to be used for thuggery, but to be politically active and vote for the sustenance of the ongoing transformation in all key sectors of the Nigerian economy.
Nigeria has left where it was yesterday, and Nigeria is still work in progress. Between 2011 to 2014, Mr. President has equally laid the foundation of the second Nigerian regime. And 1999 to date have shown us that as a people we can live and sustain our democracy in unity and in togetherness. And we cannot afford, therefore, to go backward.
Comrade Imagwe also paid homage to the Obi of Oka, Igwe Gideon Nwosu Ezeuzu II, where he called on the youths to be good ambassadors of the country. The youth and student union leaders appreciated President Goodluck Jonathan's rejuvenation of the nation's economy and pledged to mobilize support for his re-election. Wife of the Kaduna State Governor, Fatima Ramalanyero, has emphasized the need for women to turn out in large numbers to vote for credible candidates in the next month's general elections. It was during a meeting with women groups in Jama'a local government area of the state. Mohammed Lawal Baba has the report.
Hajia Fatima Yero said it is imperative to rub minds, identify problems and provide solutions as the general election is gathering momentum. She called on women in the area to participate in the forthcoming election and to caution their children against being used as political thugs.
My message to the women is to assure them of our support in any program of theirs which will support His Excellency the Executive Governor in his projects for Kaduna State.
Representatives of women groups, NGOs, religious bodies promised their support to the government at all times. In Kaduna, Muhammad Lawal Baba, NTA News.
A student is being questioned over a bomb scare in Jalingo. There is more after these messages.
Discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama,
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
This is not just another year. This is my year. It's the year I become a better me. I am going to do things I have never done before. I am going to do ordinary things in extraordinary ways. And everyday things in new ways. I will break my records and set new ones. This is 2015, the year of a better me with internet solutions that enhance my lifestyle.
MTN, everywhere you go.
My father has always taught me the importance of hard work. He says with Shell's help, he has been given the chance he needs. And that gives me the chance I need.
Shell supports local businesses and entrepreneurs, helping them to thrive and expand. Shell, let's go.
We love tasty food and drinks, but we know they can stain our teeth. And we don't want people to think our teeth are not healthy. That's why new Oral-B Pro Health with Whitening is specially designed to remove everyday stains and still give you that Oral-B all-round protection, leaving you with strong teeth everyone can see.
Smile, smile, smile.
New Oral-B Pro Health with Whitening, healthier, stronger teeth in 1 week. Now with more whitening power.
One nation under God. We are a strong force. You cannot separate us. It's the time to make it right. I am proudly Nigerian. I vote Goodluck Jonathan. We are proudly Nigerian, and we proudly take a stand. Let me hear you sing. Stand for equality. Stand for unity. You got my vote, Jonathan. You got our vote, Jonathan. Mother and father and brother and sister too. Hey. Oh, good luck, Jonathan. Oh, yeah.
A message from House to House Campaign and Supports.
Is crystal clear and reliable. Other networks can't deliver what we deliver. We the best in the whole country.
Share the joy of a seamless connection. Visafone, your passport to reach the world.
As bombs go off in different parts of Nigeria, sadness and despair the nation. This causes resentment, apathy, and hostility towards the government. But some unscrupulous elements feed on the despair to get closer to their selfish objectives so as to gain political victory. They may not be the direct perpetrators of these crimes, but otherwise they will rally around the government on this issue of terrorism and put up a united front, rather than cast aspersions and blame. We as Nigerians must not let terrorists decide who leads us. Terrorists should not set nor dictate the democratic agenda of our great country. Let's come together to find a lasting solution to the fight against terrorism in Nigeria and secure our collective future.
Johnny M2, 28 days standby time. Johnny, to be needed, to be loved.
Happy New Year 2015. Visualize it, believe it. Former wrote Goodluck Jonathan and Namadi Sambo for President and Vice President 2015. Vote PDP. Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria, supporting PDP for Goodluck and Sambo 2015.
Vice President Muhammad Nabadi Sambo has commiserated with President Goodluck Jonathan and the first family over the sudden death of his sister, Mrs. Nancy Jonathan Ole, who passed on in the early hours of Monday. A statement by the Vice President's Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Omar Sani, says the Vice President Sambo prayed for the repose of the soul of late Mrs. Jonathan Ole and for God to grant President Jonathan and his family the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. Similarly, Senate President David Mark has commiserated with President Goodluck Jonathan and his family over the demise of his younger sister, Mrs. Nancy Jonathan Ole, in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. In a message of condolence, Senator Mark urged the first family to take solace in the fact that the late Mrs. Jonathan Ole left a good legacy which impacted positively on her immediate environment. The Senate President prayed God to grant the deceased eternal life and the family the fortitude to bear the loss. The Northern Governors Forum has described the death of the younger sister to the President as unfortunate and a huge loss to the family. In a statement, the chairman of the forum and governor of Niger State, Dr. Muazu Babangida Aliyu, urged the president to see the death of Mrs. Nancy Jonathan Ole as an act of God and expressed deep sympathy with the first family. He urged the family to immortalize her by ensuring that they preserve the ideals for which she was known. The year 2014 can be best described as the most productive in contemporary times in tertiary education subsector, with the federal government's, or we'll take that story in a later, but first let's take this story of the bomb blast. There was a bomb scare at the Federal Government Girls College, Jalingo, Taraba State, this Monday. 2 military hand grenades were found in the luggage of one Blessing Elam, an SS1 student of the college. Correspondent Ibrahim Suleiman reports that the Taraba State Police Commissioner, Ademola Omole, who confirmed the incident, said the grenade was detected by a police anti-bomb expert stationed at the school gate. He said the girl and her father, Elam Zandong, from Numan local government area of Adamawa State, are in police custody and investigations are continuing. Countdown to next month's polls, permanent voters card still top issue in Lagos. Let us join Ademola in our Lagos Center. Hello, Ademola.
Welcome to Lagos. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. Ahead of the 2015 general elections, officials of the Lagos State Signage and Advertisement Agency, LASA, have been warned to desist from the act of removing posters, banners and billboards of political office seekers. Amechi Powers reports that the Lagos State Commissioner of Police gave this warning at a media briefing in Lagos.
The Commissioner of Police told the media that the warning is coming on the heels of a series of complaints from political aspirants received by the police. He explained that it is in the interest of public peace for to provide equal space in the political arena for the various candidates.
Nobody has the right to actually remove all these banners or posters. But when you do that, that means you are infringing on their right to reach out to their supporters, and I think this should not be taken for granted. If we don't stop it, that means we're having a problem in our hands, because other entities that are involved will be forced to react.
Arrangements, he noted, are being concluded by the command to ensure a hitch-free exercise. The CP said the police will stop at nothing to deal decisively with anyone or groups who may want to disrupt the peaceful conduct of the elections.
Whenever there's going to be any campaign, we are going to be there in full force. We are going to mobilize all available personnel to support the political campaign in ensuring that there is no breakdown of law and order.
In Lagos, Amechi Powers, NTA News.
With barely 40 days to the general elections, a lot of eligible voters are yet to collect their permanent voters' cards. This had become a big challenge to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The question being asked now is, will this sizable number of eligible voters be disenfranchised at the Olajide Bello has an update on the distribution of permanent voters' cards in Lagos.
Distribution of permanent voters' cards were carried out in 2 phases in Lagos State. The first phase covered 11 local government areas, while the second phase covered the remaining 9. After the 2 exercises, several registered voters complained about not collecting their permanent voters' cards. INEC, to this effect, directed those affected to go to its local government offices to collect them. INEC also directed the new eligible voters to also go to the local government offices for continuous voters registration. Visits to some INEC offices in some local government areas revealed that, though a few people were seen, the distribution of PVCs is still ongoing.
We implore the authority that the remaining one that we are saying that is the line at Abuja, they should break it down for collection at the appropriate time.
First time I came, it was rowdy. Because it was weekend, so a lot of people, so I couldn't get mine that day. So I came back another day, which was working day. It was so easy. I just gave them the programs and they searched for it and they gave it to me.
INEC has called on affected voters to still go to its local government offices. In Lagos, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Political will rather than demonstration will go a long way in solving the transportation challenges of the country. Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola stated this while responding to questions on the traffic situation along Apapa axis of the state. Jessiton Moses reports that the governor emphasized the need for an effective rail system to provide a lasting solution.
The governor said a lot of efforts have been made to solve the traffic problems along the axis. He disclosed that over 3,000 tankers and 1,000 trailers enter the port on a daily basis. According to him, effective rail system would be the only option to solving the problem. Speaking on the Lagos-Okoko Rail project, the governor said even though his administration will not finish the project, it will be test run before he leaves office.
The train must run efficiently. I think it's going to be about 20 minutes from Okoko to Marina. So they must be on time, they must be on schedule. You can predict them by your watch. So have to be correct. That's the whole idea about developmental governance. It is not about what you will finish. It's about what you can begin and what you can plan. And that's how cities and nations should develop.
Fashola, however, noted that lack of enough policemen had hampered the enforcement of the law on the restriction of motorcycle operators on the highways, as the state has only about 30,000 policemen to secure a population of over 20 million people. In Lagos, Jessiton Moses, NTA News.
Wherever you find football, you'll find Glow, the greatest supporter of football in Africa.
My father has always taught me the importance of hard work. He says with Shell's help, he has been given the chance he needs. And that gives me the chance I need.
Shell supports local businesses and entrepreneurs, helping them to thrive and expand. Shell, let's go.
Mama's cooking. Let's help her. Wait! My mama says before touching food, you should wash your hands with soap.
But my hands are clean.
Can't see germs, but they're everywhere.
Look under special blue light. To protect against germs, Safeguard removes millions of germs, and additionally, it inhibits regrowth of germs that might cause skin rashes for hours.
That is why me, mommy, daddy, and my brother regularly use Safeguard.
Safeguard with double protection against germs.
Going up? Of course you are. And why not? With Glow Broadband built on Africa's largest wholly owned metro fiber network, the sky is, well, it is rather unlimited. Up is upbeat, seamlessly. Up is quick and easy access to all your favorite apps and entertainment. And there is no downside on a network committed to upping your fun and productivity. Get quick on the uptake, my friend, and upset the odds in your favor. Because on Glow, up isn't an upgrade. It is the upgrade. Going up?
Stay ahead. Upgrade to Glow Mobile Broadband. High-speed internet for everyone. Get 2.5 gigabytes for only 2,000 naira and a whopping 12 gigabytes for just 5,000 naira.
Johnny S5.5, the slimmest in the world. John.
Still on the news, Minister of National Planning, Dr. Suleiman Abba, expresses optimism on indications for positive economic development in the new year. Shehu Ogunloyi has this prospect, including developments from the Nigeria Stock Exchange, on Business News. We'll bring that report later. There are fears that the Petroleum Industry Bill, PIB, may not be passed by the current National Assembly given the number of months left for the expiration of the tenure of the 7th Assembly. This was the position of guests on NTA's current affairs program, Good Morning Nigeria, while revisiting the PIB. Timothy Yusuf has the report.
The proposed Petroleum Industry Bill, PIB, is a measure intended to reduce to the barest minimum federal government's exposure to oil and gas exploration and production through joint venture operations. The Vice Chairman, Senate Committee on Petroleum Upstream, Senator Kabir Garba Marafa, says the bill is undergoing a rigorous legislative process.
Looking at the bill, it is before us. We are looking at it. We are the ones that knows it. One can see that the bill itself lacks internal cohesion or harmony. Some sections of the bill, are against, themselves or other sections. So when you are talking of a very important bill like that, now you have to look into those aspects.
Senator Lee Maiba, a former chairman, Senate Committee on Petroleum Upstream, and Awal Musa Rafsanjani of the civil society submitted that this oil sector is characterized by stealing and corruption. They called for an independent oversight mechanism by the legislative organ.
The issue, first, the political issue of the Niger Delta getting too much money now. Secondly, the multinationals say, look, we are going to run away. The tax you are placing on us is the highest in the world. And people within the bureaucracy of NNPC who feel, this is very important, who feel that the bill is going to stiffen their hands, it's going to stop a lot of business as usual. It's going to be a bill that somebody was making a lot of money, but stop now. Don't make any money. The money belongs to Nigeria.
Well, the lack of transparency, in the oil and gas sector, is what led us to, the kind of outright looting and stealing you have in the sector, and that's why we are, very much concerned that the transparency component, must be properly embedded in the bill, and we've been advocating for that.
Bala Zakai, petroleum engineer, called for an urgent passage of the bill, saying the gains are enormous.
Because as long as this bill is not passed, right, knowing that oil and gas revenues constitute the oxygen of Nigerian economy, we are going to continually suffer. Because if you look at it, because this bill has not been passed, further exploration has stopped.
In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
On business news, Minister of National Planning, Dr. Suleiman Abubakar, expressed optimism and that there are indications for positive economic development in the new year. Sharon Ogunli has this report and the stock market report as well.
It's time again to talk business on NTA News at 9. My name is Sharon Ogunluyi. The Minister of National Planning, Dr. Suleiman Abubakar, has commended the resilience of the federal government of Nigeria at moving the nation forward in spite of challenges experienced in the past years. Citing the case of the Infrastructure Master Plan as a milestone of the present administration in 2014, Dr. Abubakar hints some of the realized objectives of the administration to proper planning and focus.
We saw the master plan, taken to various organs of government, the National Economic Council, the Federal Executive Council. It was approved, and it now become a document, a framework with which this country is going to at least bridge all the gaps in the areas of infrastructure. To me, it's one of the missions of this government, which was actualized in 2014.
Characterized by sustained sell-offs by investors last week, thereby leading to a rise in yields in the market. Analysts believe that this week might experience a boost in bond prices at the over-the-counter bond market. How did the market fare at the close of trading on the nation's bourse this Monday? Here's the graphical details. And that's the package on the news this time. Good evening.
Nigerian Union of Journalists commemorates press freedom and road mishap claims 8 lives. Benedicta from our Benin Network Center has details of these stories. Hello, Benedicta.
Mohammed, good evening from Benin. A symbolic freedom tree planting took place this Monday in Benin City to constantly remind journalists that the struggle for press freedom is a continuing one. To this effect, a freedom square within the NUJ Press Center was rejuvenated. Uduakobonga Chibong reports.
That's back to 1984, when the then military administration promulgated a decree to check journalism. The square was therefore established in the defunct Bendel State as a resistance to any form of oppression in the practice of journalism.
This place is a place we want journalists from all over the country, all over the world to visit, and to remind younger generation of journalists that we must never go to sleep. We must always remain vigilant.
The state chairman of NUJ, Mr. Desmond Agbama, and other journalists at the event urged media practitioners to put the interest of the nation first in the discharge of their duties. In Benin, Uragobong Achibong, NTA News.
The Benin-Ahor Highway today recorded a fatal motor accident which claimed 8 lives. The FRSC sector commander in Edo State explained that 2 vehicles traveling from opposite directions had a head-on collision following a burst tire. Beauty Obami has that report.
By the FROHC, a Toyota Camry saloon car which had a burst tire lost control and rammed into a bus coming from the opposite direction. Mr. Familoni confirmed that all the 4 passengers in the Toyota saloon car lost their lives.
Camry coming from Lagos side had the burst tire, then lost control and submerged and rammed into another vehicle that is coming from the other side of the road.
Meanwhile, statistics from the FROSC shows a reduction in the number of fatality in road crashes compared to that of last year. In Benin, Beauty Egobami, NTA News.
That's our package from Benin. We return to Mohammed in Abuja. Good evening.
Thank you, Benedicta. Ondo State Governor Dr. Olusegun Mimiko is optimistic that the year 2015 will usher in glad tidings for Nigeria and that peace will reign. Governor Mimiko stated this at the end-of-year children's party organized by his wife, Olukemi. He assured of continuity on all government projects. Doris Onumuko has details.
The governor, Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, who had a brief stopover at the party to felicitate with children and women of the state, said the policy focus of government, which of women, will continue to have a pride of place in its administration.
I want to thank all of you, especially the women, for your unquantifiable support for this administration. By the grace of God, we will continue as we have always done, and we will have a program for women.
Wife of the governor, Mrs. Olukemi Mimiko, said the Children's Party is organized annually to show appreciation to God and felicitate with children who are gifts from God.
At the end of the year, we celebrate them and we celebrate ourselves, particularly us mothers. You'll see we have more mothers here than fathers. To say thank you to God, thank you to government, and thank you to one another for the support that we have given and received, for various gifts that we have given and received, but more importantly, for the mercy and the goodness of God that we have received.
The children, no doubt, had a fun-filled day as they participated in various activities.
We'll now take a break for some messages. Don't go away.
Moving Nigeria forward in 2015 is the focus on NTA Tuesday Live. Tuesday Live, in the agenda for a better Nigeria. It will be incisive, objective, informative, and educative. Don't miss it. Join us.
The Nigerian Television Authority (NTA) wishes to remind representatives of all the registered political parties of the crucial meeting to present NTA's political coverage policies and plan ahead of 2015 general elections. Date Tuesday, January 6, 2015. Venue NTA headquarters, Damsat Area 11, Garki, Abuja. Time 12 noon. Announcer Shola Atere, Executive Director News, NTA.
Our good people of Nigeria, the general elections are here.
Nigeria's democracy must be advanced.
Nigeria's democracy is still very much alive.
Another opportunity has come for us to elect leaders of our choice into various elective offices.
As INEC is set to conduct the Presidential and National Assembly elections on Saturday, February 14, 2015.
And the governorship and state houses of assembly elections on Saturday, February 28. To
perform your civic duties, come out, visit the polling units, and cast your vote on the days of the elections.
Show that you are a true citizen of Nigeria.
Be patriotic.
This message is from INEC.
INEC, making your votes count. Consolidating our democracy.
Hello, please. Is this Casey Limpopo?
Yes, my dear. How can I help you?
My mommy said that you are my daddy and we have been looking for you since.
Me?
We are outside your door. Please open.
Spice up every call with joy and laughter this season with MTN Magic Voice for only 10 Naira a week. The subscriber with the highest MTN Magic Voice usage every week wins an iPhone. So just dial 757 and follow the voice prompt.
MTN. Of the All Progressives Congress, APC, River State, the Right Honorable Chibuike Amechi, on behalf of the State Executive Committee of the party, the Greater Together Campaign Organization, and indeed, all progressives in River State, welcomes our party Excellency General Muhammadu Buhari retired. The National Chairman of the APC, Chief John Oyegun, National Leader Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, members of the National Working Committee and the National Executive Committee of the APC, progressive state governors, senators, Speaker and members of the House of Representatives, men and women, youth and party supporters to the official flag-off of the General Muhammadu Buhari presidential campaign in River State, scheduled for Tuesday, the 6th of January 2015. Venue, Adoke Amiesimaka Sports Stadium, Port Harcourt. Time is 7 a.m. Your Excellency, as you arrive River State to unfold your agenda for change in Nigeria, we welcome you to the home of the APC, to the state where change is not only a slogan but a fact, as you will bear witness when you commission our world-class schools, health centers and roads built by the Amechi administration. Your Excellency, welcome to River State. Yele Ibote Oelua Namasi Oka. Announcer Ibim Seminitari, Honorable Commissioner for Information and Communication.
All over Nigeria, Ariel claims to give us the best stain removal in one wash. So we'll collect tough stains, red sand, fruit juice, chocolate ice cream, to see which gives the best stain removal in one wash. We'll wash one half with Ariel and the other with the other premium detergent. Did the other premium detergent remove these stains? And Ariel? Yes! Ariel, best stain removal in Nigeria in one wash.
Nigeria, we the people decree that the power of evil secrecy shall fail.
All Nigerians should understand that a divided Nigeria can only mean catastrophic consequences for the entire black race.
We all African countries count on you, and you are our beacon of hope.
That when Nigeria sneezes, all of us will catch cold.
All of us who look to Nigeria for lessons and inspiration never cease to thank God for this wonderful gift to Africa.
Nigeria enjoys the respect, the admiration, the friendship, and the hope of an entire continent.
The powerhouse of Africa.
Nigeria.
Unite and build Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria.
A message from Korean posterity.
Now, global tidbits with Gabriel Ondo.
Hopeful that some of the victims are still in the plane as recovery efforts continue, adding that weather conditions have improved over the Java Sea. Flight KLZ 8501 was flying from Surabaya, Indonesia to Singapore on December 28 when it disappeared from radar. In Australia, firefighters say they are racing to contain a major bushfire before rising temperatures and high winds fuel the blaze. Reports say more than 30 homes have been destroyed by the bushfires. From Libya, military jets have attacked a Greek-operated oil tanker in the Libyan port of Derna, killing 2 crew members. In a related development, insurgents have attacked the Malian town of Nampala near the Mauritanian border, killing at least 5 people. That's Global Tidbits. Gabriel Udu, NTA News.
Amanzi Mankos has the sport update.
A 5-2 win over the NYC football team by the home-based Super Eagles at the Abuja National Stadium on Monday. Eagles assistant coach Daniel Amokachi says his players have to improve on their performance. The match was part of the Super Eagles build-up to the 2 international friendlies against Cote d'Ivoire and Sudan in Dubai.
I think the scoreline is not what is important. It's the tactical angle of what we've been working on the last 5 days, and they showed, some of it, and all the negative that we saw is what we're going to continue working on.
Chachanga local government football team will be representing Niger State at the zonal playoffs of the President Cup football competition in honor of President Goodluck Jonathan. The team beat its counterpart from Bida local government 7-6 on penalties to emerge overall winner of the competition at the state level. The zonal elimination holds in 6 centers of Jos, Umuahia, Kaduna, Akure, Bauchi and Uyo from January 9 to 13. World Women Tennis number 1 Serena Williams is aiming for a 6th Australian Open title in Melbourne later this month as she came from a match down to beat Italy's Flavia Pennetta, love 6, 6-3, 6-love at the Hopman Cup in Perth in Australia on Monday.
To round off the news, remember it is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in unwholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of State Security Service. That's Network News tonight. I'm Muhammad Kuru Abubakar. Good night.
This is the network service of the NTA.